was this? Wake up, sweetness.
Your first time should be more than special.
I'm in, Savannah said. Good Lord, Gemma. When a man and a woman, in this case, really, really love each other. What happens is they fuck.
Ooh, hello?
Oh, dang it, I lost my fish. This next word almost sounds like Quidditch. Quidditch milad Diana Agosiagath an Fiedian. As much as I love fucking you, sweetness, we stared into each other's eyes whilst I moaned in ecstasy. Having consumed half of the bourbon, I keep saying bourbon. You know, every time I mess up on a word, Stunt Mama just shows up.
She had her seductive smile on her lips.
I said we couldn't have sex. I didn't say anything about everything else. Ew. Happy to help, biatch. You are the spark of light in the vastness of my night. His note, like a finality to a beautiful, breathtaking song. All right. Welcome to Sunday. Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Yeah, it is. Hi, Kay. It's good to see you. It's kind of late getting started today. It was nuts. Your intro volume is kind of low. What do you mean? Like the video you just saw? Or do you mean me talking? Or the video? Interesting. I'll try to check on the volume levels afterward. No sense going backwards. Don't need to do that. But anywho, volume is perfect now. Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can match. So I've got my desktop audio at negative 29 decibels. Do I have anything to write that down with? No, but I have a phone here. And I could just make a note to myself. How about that? Let's make a note. I Stunt Mama's mama. Let's see. Negative 29 on desktop. Check video. Got it. Thank you for that note. It has been jotted down. Hopefully I won't forget to read the note. Do you ever make yourself a note to remind you of something? To then need another note to remind you to check the note? That's happened to me before. And of course, because I started late, I did not get to start the ad before we started, so now we have an ad. So that's the thing. We're also supposed to be on this screen, so I'm just all messed up tonight. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We can just be over here. It's fine. It's where we're going to end up anyway. This is your cozy kitten puzzle for tonight. Look at that cat. Just look at him. I is small, but I has big feelings. Doesn't that cat just look adorable? It really does. I rarely make notes for anything. It's a little game I play to test my memory. I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to ask if you're winning. Excuse me. It's been a crazy busy weekend. You're always here for me with a good night story when I need the most. Glad to help, Mad Locust. I really am. Friday nights, we went... Excuse me. Friday night, we went to see Wild Robot, which was an absolutely amazing film. For the parents in the room, you will cry. You just will. And you'll understand why once you watch it. But it's amazing. The music in it is phenomenal. The voice acting is top notch. Excuse me. It's just an all-around amazing movie. And then Saturday, we took the kiddo to his tennis lessons in the morning. Then we got him washed up, had some lunch, and then... Oh, and then we went to his school because there's been a book fair all week. I'm going to keep yawning. I'm so sorry. There was a book fair all week, and on Saturday, it ended with a book festival. And so we were volunteering. We helped do some bingo games, and then I double dutied and went over to where all the books were being sold, and I helped run one of the cashier stations. And then we helped clean up and put everything away. And then a few hours later, I met up with a long-lost friend of mine, a guy that I hadn't seen in 20 years. 20 years. We went bowling, which then turned into going to the downtown area where they have this. It's called Tap Tap. It's like an old school arcade area, which was tons of fun. And then we walked a couple blocks over to the same place that we actually saw the Wild Robot movie, but we went into their little hangout place and threw some darts. And then this morning, we went to a park and met up with another family and their kiddo because there's like this big outdoor event thing today. And then after that, we met up with them for some lunch. We came home. We came home, then met up with them for some lunch. And then from there, we went to another friend's outdoor park thing because it was her birthday. Then we came home. I crashed for like 30 minutes, and then poof, here I am. So it's just been nonstop. That guy, I remember you mentioning him. Your kids go to the same school guy. Yeah. Yep. That's the one. Good memory. So yeah, we finally got to hang out, and it was great. It was awesome. But yeah, I am wiped. I am so tired. So I apologize for the yawning, but it's much like Thanos. I am inevitable. And so are the yawns. But anyway, I hope some of you got to relax more than I did. I hope. But if not, you made it. Good job. We're here. I'm going to take a couple of sips of my tea because Lord knows I need it. No better way to unwind than a good reading. Exactly. Great minds think alike. That's hitting the spot. That's delicious. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on chapter 6 tonight. Yes, we are. If you do exclamation point Xerenyse, just like it shows in the title of the stream, you will see a link to this book, which will then give you options to see other books written by A.J. Saunders, some of which we have read on stream. But in the meantime, just a volume in my headset. In the meantime, sit back, relax. I will yawn, and I will also read you a story. A loud crash awakens me. I stretch over the edge of the basket and open my mouth into such a huge yawn, as if my face is turning inside out. Xerenyse, I feel you. I feel you. See, did it again. Another clang and I'm on my feet. It can't be Tristan. He left early this morning for Xerenyse. Or maybe it's Renee. It's French. Something about a special seminar on the regulation of plant immunity, whatever that means. Estelle said her over-the-top goodbyes, lips raw red from kissing and eyes sparkling like two fat fireflies. Didn't they fool around enough last night? Judging from the sun smiling into the kitchen, it must be late afternoon. Has Tristan come back earlier than expected? I hope so. I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. Haven't been caressed all day. I run into the study to find Estelle rummaging through his personal stuff. What do you want, flea bag? Her tone is full of hatred. She slings out a leg and tries to kick me. Curiosity killed the cat. Now get lost. My back arches, my ears flatten, and I hiss at her. Wow. So this is how it feels when a cat gets angry. I creep forward with a feeling that something isn't right. What's she doing here at this time of day? She told Tristan she wouldn't be back until late. You don't scare me, she says, holding her head high. The feeling's mutual, bimbo. Estelle paces the room, chewing her nails. I've no idea what she's searching for, but she's desperate. Her fingers glide along the bookshelves, taking out every book before sliding her hand to the back of the shelf. She flicks through various magazines and rummages through the filing cabinet drawers as if her life depended on it. With a hand combing through her hair, she moves behind Tristan's desk and sits on the black leather chair. Dropping her head back onto the soft headrest, she glares at me before throwing a book at my direction. Right, that's the last straw. You asked for it. I pound my claws up and down on the rug like angry pistons. That makes me feel so much better. I wonder if cats do that to release stress. Like humans pummeling into a punching ball. When my nails are sharp enough, I'll try them out on her leather jacket. I have to admit that being a cat has made me a lot bolder. A series of melodic notes blare out on Estelle's phone. We both jump. She fishes it out of her pocket and swishes the screen with an angry finger. What? She talks in an aggressive voice. I inch closer, hoping to catch more. It can't be Tristan. She wouldn't speak to him like that. What do you want now? She jumps to her feet, sending the chair skidding back to the wall. What do you mean? Don't get wound up. You always get me to do your dirty work, don't you, bro? My ears prick up. Estelle's got family. Why did Tristan say she had none? Look, I can't keep searching with one hand. Hang on while I put this thing on speaker. Will you stop wasting time, Estelle, and concentrate on your task? My blood turns to ice. I'd recognize that voice anywhere. I leap back in horror, and a hard knot constricts in the back of my throat, making it hard to breathe. Estelle's angry brother is none other than Moverio. I thought the bolt of lightning had killed him. Bloody hell. Just as well I hadn't gone back to check on him. I would have gone straight to my downfall. Waves of acid well up from my stomach as I grasp who she is. My mind ticks quicker. The two lunatics are related. Estelle's hand comes down on the desk with a hard slam, and my heart skips a beat. What the hell is she up to? What are they up to? I'm fed up with all this. A long growl escapes through the phone. Don't test me, Estelle. Paralyzed to the spot, Estelle's face turns ashen gray. Her bottom lip trembles, and her eyes flit around the room. He obviously scares her too. Okay, she says in an apologetic tone. Remind me what the ring looks like. It's a twisted band with a purplish claw-set center moonstone. My heart thumps against my ribcage. That's Xerenyse's ring. Why are they looking for it here? Estelle bites her lower lip. I've hunted everywhere. It's not here. It is. Stop whining. Tristan is the custodian, so the ring is somewhere with him. My eyes fly open. What? Tristan is the guardian? My pulse accelerates. What are the odds of me being found by the custodian of the ring? The gods must have led him to me. There's no other explanation. And Moverio has planted his sister in Tristan's house to get his ring. Or to get the ring. It's not his ring. But I told you it's not here, Estelle says, pushing her fingers to the back of the drawer for the umpteenth time. Rexter, my dude, it is great to see you. Are you feeling any better? I hope so. Even if it's only a little bit, I hope you are on the up, not the down. Much better? That is great to hear. I'm very glad to hear that. The world needs you, Rexter. More than you know. My eyes widen. Where did that spurt of confidence come from? Maybe she's not that frightened of him after all. Or is it because he isn't physically in the room? Just find it. His tone cracks sharp. Red in the face, Estelle shoves her middle finger up in the air. Anger etches the fine lines around her eyes, and both hands close into tight fists. Like a spoiled child, she swipes her hand across Tristan's desk, sending papers, pens, and documents flying onto the parquet. I suppose she needs something to take her anger out on. It's not going to be me on her bully brother. Just get that ring. I don't care how. Moverio's voice is getting angry and louder by the minute. Estelle is about to swish the screen to silence when Moverio's voice bellows out once again. And don't forget to come back for your treatment. What? Already? I've only just got back here. A wave of unease washes over me. What treatment is he talking about? Estelle doesn't look ill to me. Okay, so at times she appears tired with extra wrinkles and dark circles around the eyes, but everyone looks like that on an off day. Yes, already. We didn't do the full treatment last time, so you'd better tell Tristan you're going away on another trip. Estelle smacks the phone shut and slips it into her pocket, swearing under her breath. She gets to her knees and begins to pick up the things she swished on the floor in her tantrum. It's going to be a long afternoon, a very long one. For starters, I can't believe Moverio is still alive. What a huge slap in the face. What the hell am I going to do? What the hell can I do? I'm only a cat. And if that wasn't bad enough, Moverio has now plonked his sister in the house. Tristan has no idea who he's dealing with. Dun dun dun. Break in the story. That means sip of tea. I'll tell you what, hot tea when you're reading is a true saving grace. That, and I know some people prefer to go the honey route, but for me, it's about the tea. All right. Breaking the story, let's carry on. 8:30 and Tristan returns at last. Daylight has given way to the swirling pink and lilac sky. It's beautiful, and in a normal situation, I'd lap it up. Because of what I discovered today, my guts are in knots. Although I may act calm, I'm a bundle of nerves, anticipating what's to come. Morning, everyone. Did you just wake up, Mama House Gaming? It's 6:22 p.m. for me. Maybe you're just trying to see if we're paying attention. Can't fool me. Nope. I hope you're well, ma'am. It's great to see you. Where have you been? Estelle asks. I'm happy to see you too, Estelle. Tristan drops his rucksack next to the door and heads over to me. Hi, beautiful. He takes my face in both hands and kisses the top of my head. It's that love I see in his eyes, or is it my imagination? I purr to please him, even though I'm worried sick about what Estelle's got in store. Thank you, Rexter. As if on cue, she approaches. Sorry for snapping, darling. I've been desperate with worry. Her voice doesn't sound in the least bit apologetic. She slides both hands up his chest and curls her painted fingers around the back of his neck, pulling his head down. Why don't I make up for it? Tristan's hand glides upward from her waist, and Estelle's lips part in a low, quiet moan. The few inches between them disappears as her teeth pull on Tristan's lower lip. My meows fall on deaf ears as they both vanish upstairs. By the time I come out of my stupor and race up the steps, the bedroom door is shut. No way is this going to happen a second time. I swear, she won't have him like the night before. Besides, she's evil, and he needs to be protected. I have to be with him, even if there's not a lot I can do apart from scratching her eyes out. I stare at the door, unable to move, preparing my next plan of action. Then, all hell is let loose. I pull my head back and yowl at the top of my voice. Even I'm amazed at the noise coming out. The door opens almost instantly, and Tristan appears bare-chested and hair ruffled. Didn't take long for the bimbo to undress him. Xerenyse, what's up, my dude? Enjoy the puzzle. Hey, what's up, puss? You, in there, with her. She's the enemy. He stoops to pick me up just as Estelle shows her face, tousled hair and blouse undone. Please don't tell me she's going to come into the bedroom, she whines. Tristan fingers me under the chin, and I purr my best. Gemma is part of the family. We have to make concessions. Concessions like what? Letting the cat sleep with us? Her voice drones in the quiet atmosphere of the bedroom. I jump out of Tristan's arms and head for the window ledge. Estelle's right. I don't fancy sleeping in the same room as her. No, she has to leave. I need to regain my normal place in this house. She's a snooper, and to top it all, she's Moverio's sister. Estelle. Sorry, Tristan, it's the cat or me. Good. Please make the right decision. Tristan cracks his knuckles and lets out an exasperated sigh. Why are you acting like a spoiled child? That won't work with me. Well, I know where I stand then. She buttons her blouse and grabs her night bag before shoving her belongings angrily inside. And I'm not standing for that. Tristan rolls his eyes. When you come to your senses and behave like a... that's her. When you come to your senses and behave like a man of 26, ring me. Until then, stay with your precious cat. She pulls a set of keys from the pocket in her travel bag and tosses them on the bed. And you can have your keys back. The stairs creak under the strain of her footsteps. The last thing my ears pick up is furious swearing before the front door slams shut. Tristan collapses onto the bed like a puppet cut free of its strings. Even in the dim evening light, I catch the anxiety on his face. She's upset him. I'll get her for that. She'd better make the most of her expensive cashmere sweater because she won't be able to wear it once I finish filing my nails. I leap off the sill and jump onto the bed. With my claws retracted, I press my front paws into his back, massaging back and forth. I close my eyes and purr. The trance-like motion reminds me of when I used to make bread with Mama, kneading and pounding at the dough until it shaped into a perfectly rounded ball, ready for the oven. Before long, Tristan responds by relaxing and a throaty chuckle escapes his mouth. Hey, you're good at that, puss. My lungs expand and a sense of calm and ease overcomes me. I continue pounding until he turns to face me. In a voice that is barely audible, he whispers into my fur with the warm breath, and I melt inside. When he pulls back, I head to my blanket, which is now at his feet. I must admit it's nicer being on a bed than on the floor. Tristan's slow breathing means he's already asleep. I, on the other hand, cannot. As soon as my mind slides into unconsciousness, visions of Estelle and Moverio come to mind, and my stomach goes rock hard. A clang from outside, and I'm up on all fours in a flash. I check the time on the radio. radio alarm clock. 1:30. I must have dropped off. Tristan is asleep, one arm thrown over his forehead, mouth slightly open. He hasn't reacted to the noise. But then, cats have a keen sense of hearing. With stocking pads, I jump off the bed and head to the window. Leaping onto the ledge, I peek through the shutters, where the full moon plays a seductive game of hide-and-seek with the dark clouds. An owl hoots. Such a melancholy cry, followed by a dog's faint barking. All the fur on my body rises. Something is out there. Its crushing force is reaching out. Please, not him. It can't be Moverio. He doesn't know where I am. Tristan stirs behind me and groans. His droning grows louder as he beats the mattress, fighting with the demons in his dream. After a long, incoherent mumble, he struggles free of the duvet and sits bolt upright, choking. I leap back onto the bed. He snaps out of the dream, body shaking, and stares at me as if I'm a stranger. Taking one hesitant step at a time, I close the gap between us. When he's eventually himself, he pulls me near and rests his head on top of mine. I've never seen such torment on anyone's face before. What could he have been dreaming about? Breathing out softly, he buries his face into my neck. I had such a strange dream, he says, lying back down. You changed into a human. I jerk my head back, and my pulse decides to run a marathon. Has he got a crystal ball or something? Can he see into the future? My throat dries up. Didn't they say that when you think about something so hard, your subconscious brings it up in dreams? Tristan lies perfectly still, gazing into nothingness, an ironed-out expression on his face. My paw ventures out and touches his shoulder ever so lightly. He snaps out of his daze and strokes my back. I'm going to say something stupid, Puss, but you can't repeat it or even understand. I wait, adrenaline rushing through me. I'm sure there's something more to you than a straightforward cat. My eyes spring wide open, and I've forgotten to breathe. And that's the end of chapter 6. So let's break this down. We find out that Estelle is not really into Tristan and essentially using him to get to some ring. But the only reason she's doing it is because she happens to be the sister of Moverio, the person that Estelle is trying to hide from. Now, Estelle doesn't know that the cat is Xerenyse. And so for now, she's safe. But by coincidence, Tristan is the keeper of this ring, its guardian, its protector, and she's kind of stuck in this weird situation. Nothing to do or say except just kind of play it out and see what happens. But oddly, the girlfriend leaves. Estelle decides it's either me or the cat, and he chose the cat, and that was it. But if she's looking for a ring and Moverio says he has the ring, find it, why would she leave? There wasn't anything in the text that said she found it. So, was it just a ruse? Is she just gonna break in some other time? I don't know. But then throwing on top of that, the guy has a dream that the cat turns into a human, which is exactly what's going to happen. Obviously all connected in some way, shape, or form. The question is how? All right. Page 72. Chapter 7. Here we go. Thankfully, she's gone. For now. Something tells me she's not gone for good. For all we know, Tristan could be whipped. Maybe he really likes her. Or maybe he doesn't care. But either way, when Mavario said, "Come back for your treatment," and then later Xerenyse the cat hears an owl and a dog, I'm actually wondering if Estelle is a dog turned into a human temporarily. But we'll see. And that could also explain why she detests the cat, because dogs and cats, stereotypically, don't get along. That's my theory. Chapter 7. The cold April evenings have given ground to the brighter May afternoons, my favorite month. I love the warmer weather when winter no longer blows its cold breath and the air takes on that familiar spring fragrance. It's been 4 whole weeks since Estelle walked off in a huff. Not that I'm complaining. Tristan and I have settled down to our routine. He never mentions her, and even if I could talk, I wouldn't be the one to bring up the subject. To my greatest joy, I haven't seen Mavario for almost 2 months. After another 10 months to go, or if my family sends him to hell at Samhain, another 5.5 months to wait, and I'll be my normal self again. How I miss my family. When we get back together, I'm going to spend the first few days doing absolutely nothing, simply enjoying their company and going for long walks out in the open. Tristan steps out of the house dressed in sportswear. Every morning, just as the sun appears from behind the hills, he joins me on the terrace, when he does a series of workout exercises before going to work. The man likes to keep fit. He stands in the middle of the terrace. Controlled breathing and precise body movements make up his workout, and he always goes through the same exercises, like a sort of ritual, a way of keeping his mind and body fit, no doubt. I curl up into a small ball and place my chin on my front legs, dozing in the warmth of his presence. He comes to sit next to me on the floral cushioned wicker settee, rubbing the back of his hand over his sweaty forehead. The ringing on his phone floats through the cool morning air, bringing his stroking to a halt. Opening an eye, I gaze at the cushion next to me. Estelle's name glows on the screen. Blast! What does she want? Tristan reaches across and grabs it. Hi, Estelle. Yeah, I'm fine. Just going to shower before leaving for work. He rakes a hand through his hair and I sit up, eager to follow the conversation, which, sadly to say, is one-sided. I'll have to imagine Bimbo's half. Yeah. Dunno. Come on, say something else. He lets out a slow whistle. Like I said, I've no idea. If that's all he's going to say, I'm not going to discover much. I lean closer, but can't grab what she's saying despite my ultra-perceptive hearing. Tristan is so on edge. He's wedged the phone tight to his ear. Oh. Okay. I accept your apologies. Maybe I was a bit harsh. He's let out a relieved sigh and his knuckles relax. I'm glad you think differently about Gemma, too. My ears prick up, and I swivel them in the direction of the phone. What is that supposed to mean? And why should she think differently about me? She hates me. What I'd give to actually be in the phone, to eavesdrop on her part of the conversation. You're there now? How long will this trip be? Another 2 weeks? Tristan chuckles. Yeah, and as you say, the wait will be worth it. No need to hear what Estelle has just said. Any fool can understand. Tristan continues chuckling, and I can imagine the other half of the conversation. Not that I particularly want to. Yeah, and have a safe journey back. He rings off, tosses the phone onto the cushion, a huge frown on his face. I sometimes ask myself why I carry on with Estelle, he says, stroking my back with slow, gentle movements. Maybe I'm just a bit lonely. He sits me on his knees and holds my head in both hands, gazing into my eyes. At least you're not temperamental. In fact, I'm so glad you're here. You can't guess how special you are to me. Wow, another compliment. I purr for all I'm worth. I believe Estelle is more hooked on me than I am on her. But I need a bit of company from time to time. I remain still, letting him stroke me, knowing he needs to confide. If it does him any good, I'll put up with hearing about Bimbo. Tristan stares into nothingness for a long moment. Come on, he says, slipping out of his thoughts. I have to get ready for work. I leap off his knees and scurry into the house. Tristan follows close behind and heads upstairs. A short while later, he comes back downstairs and grabs his rucksack before heading outside. I'll see you this evening, Gemma. He calls and locks the door behind him. I sit on the settee, my head on my front paws, and sigh. I miss my family and the fact that I can't lead a normal life. I'd love to be a time traveler, to be able to shoot into the future and, at the snap of fingers, to get this horrid year out of the way. A heavy thud from the front garden makes my ears stand to attention. Has Tristan forgotten something? I didn't hear the car. I pad to the window, careful to hide behind the curtains. There's not much to see. Whoever's out there is up close to the front door. No way can I stretch my neck without being seen. Footsteps shuffle outside, too heavy for Tristan. A cold sweat coats the back of my neck when the sound of the door knob turning ever so slowly clicks in the heavy silence. I jump to the floor, ignoring the impatient stamping on the concrete. The hallway appears darker all of a sudden, and the temperature has taken a dive. I remain as far away from the door as I can, my insides quivering, wondering who it can be. A heavy fist strikes the door, rattling the letterbox, and I race to my basket in the kitchen. After a brief moment, I slide a paw over the edge and sneak back into the hallway. I have to avoid making a noise. My heart is about to explode when a second knock echoes in the cottage. Rooted to the spot, each second seems to last forever. "Damn, sister," comes a muffled voice from outside. A shiver tiptoes down my spine. There's no mistaking that voice. Moverio is back on the scene. "Just couldn't get the job done," he continues to mumble. "Now I have to take action." My mouth dries up. Without his sister to carry out his orders, Moverio now has to do his own dirty work. And I fear the worst. He's a shifter. A few seconds pass before he pins an ear to the frosted glass panel on the door. Although he can't see me, I take a few steps back just in case. He tilts his head back and lets out a growl, obviously unhappy with the situation. I can't say I'm over the moon either. Through the frosted glass window of the front door, I make out Moverio's distorted silhouette. He casts a shadow that nearly fills the hallway. With both arms held high in the air, he claps his hands and I hold my breath. Is that what he does to shift? He claps his hand again and again. "Damn you!" he shouts before mumbling. "I knew the ring was here. The barrier's too strong for me to get in. Won't even let me shift." His foot comes into contact with the wooden panel at the bottom of the door, and I leap back, shaking my head. I forgot how sensitive a cat's hearing is. My ears are still humming. Moverio's silhouette steps back before taking shape once again in front of the door's glass window. A fist slams against the frosted pane, and I squeeze my eyes shut, hoping the glass won't shatter. When I open my eyes again, his silhouette has disappeared, and I catch the slamming of the garden gate. My legs give way, and I drop to the floor, stomach flat out against the cold surface. A sudden release of all the tension. Questions flood my mind as I head to the living room, questions I need answers to. How can he be so sure the ring is here? I've never come across it, and I follow Tristan everywhere, both in the house and around the garden. But now I have my doubts. The ring must be here, acting as a protective shield, and Moverio can't get into the place. In my dream, Thuriel and Xerenyse's ring was a protection against evil. I sink into the cushion set in the center of the settee. Why have I got this strange feeling that it won't be long before Estelle turns up at the cottage again? I guess we'll find out in Chapter 8. So, Moverio can't shapeshift when he's too close to the house because the ring is protecting it. Which probably means he can't get in regardless, because in my mind, I'm like, why doesn't he just shapeshift somewhere else and then come to the house? Like, we know he can turn into an owl, so why not just be an owl and, I don't know, land close by, become an insect of some kind and just crawl through? Maybe he can't, though. Maybe the ring stops it entirely. That's going to be my assumption. That's going to be my guess for now. Either way, it's kind of odd and interesting at the same time, because like not Estelle, Xerenyse is in a safe place, but yet trapped at the same time. Always good to have assumptions in books, but only books. What are you assuming? I'm just kidding. You see what I did there, though? Assuming. Uh-huh. It's funny. Okay, it wasn't that funny, but I tried. Yeah. Like, she's technically in the safest place she could be, because she's got protection from the ring. But if the ring is ever found, or moved, or stolen, or whatever, she's screwed. And don't we know that Moverio has already seen Xerenyse as a cat? Right? I think. From the other chapters. So it's like, if he did get in, he could just take her. Kill her. Something. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he already knows. Anyway, it is what it is. I wonder if Tristan will figure it out about Estelle. I don't get the impression he has yet, because the only thing he said is that she's more into me than I'm into her. I don't think she has, I don't think he has a clue that she is not, well, I don't think she's even human. I think she's actually a dog. As I said before, no proof of that yet. Again, just a theory. But, yeah. Something weird going on with them. Anywho, Chapter 8 is a slightly longer chapter, so that may be the last one for tonight, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Chapter 8 starts us off on page 77. And I'm right. A few days after Moverio's visit, Estelle's car pulls into the driveway. She gets out of her car, a bag of croissants in hand. I recognize the logo on the wrapping, and heads up the garden path, dragging her feet. She's no doubt got it in the neck from Moverio. The monster's persuaded. The ring's in the cottage. He wants it. His sister has to get it. But if his sister is a dog, then he must be too. Nah, gotta be something else. Well, he's a shapeshifter, so he can change into whatever. I guess all we really know at this point is that she has to get treatment to keep up something. Like, something bad will happen that will reveal her true self if she doesn't. I think that's the only thing we can safely say at this point. I only guessed a dog because I heard a dog, or Xerenyse heard a dog right after an owl hooted. So I just assumed they were together, but maybe our author is throwing that in there to make us think otherwise, and it's something else. She's tricky like that sometimes. I let out an irritated meow. What is it, puss? Tristan slips out of bed and approaches the window. Oh, I didn't think Estelle would be here so early. She said she wouldn't be here until after lunch. He dresses and heads down the stairs to the ringing at the front door. I follow suit, not eagerly happy with the situation. Wakey, wakey, Estelle calls as he swings open the door. She kicks it shut and jumps into Tristan's arms after bowling him over. I've missed you so much, darling, she says, smothering him with kisses. What an actress. The speed at which she changed from a frustrated moaner to a happy soul is amazing. She'd win an award any day. And I got back early from my trip, she adds. I grind my teeth and turn away. She never went away on a trip, unless the call's returning to her brother for a treatment trip. Tristan takes the pastries and we all head into the kitchen. Estelle ignores me. Not that I expect to get a hello. She made it clear from the beginning how she feels about me. And the feeling is mutual. I'm going to feed Gemma first, Tristan says, placing the bag of cakes on the table. Then we can have breakfast, and you can tell me all about your travels. Estelle glimpses my way, a huge smirk on her face. There's no warmth in her eyes, and I've got a nasty hunch she's up to no good. Tristan's phone rings. Blast, I need to take this, he says, peering at the screen. It's work. Don't worry, you take the call. I'll feed Gemma. What's come over Bimbo? Estelle sets about preparing my food while I follow Tristan into the hallway. His face betrays a little worry. I sit and listen to him talk. If I get the picture, it's something about a document. When he rings off and heads back into the kitchen, I follow, waiting for him to reveal the subject of the call. Come on, Puss. Come and get it. He takes the already cut open sachet from Estelle and squeezes the food into my special plate. What was that about? Estelle asks. Oh, nothing important. Just a file they couldn't find. I pad over to him and dip my nose into the food. Is that good? He asks, stroking my back. I meow and his face cracks into a smile. With a hand under my stomach, he lifts me into his arms, and when he cups my face in his warm hands and plants a tiny peck on my nose, I know I'm in love. In all sincerity, I fell for him the moment I peered up into his concerned eyes that day when he found me in the forest. I raise my nose higher. Tristan laughs. Looks as if you want another one. I do. He's about to oblige when Estelle's voice brings him to a halt. What about me? Estelle, she says, pouting her lips. Gemma is only a cat, a four-legged ball of fur. But I'm human, and I can do with a bit of love, too. We've been apart for so long. Meow. Tristan places me on the floor. Estelle approaches and tries to nudge me aside with her foot. I show my teeth and my fur bristles. Don't push your look. Come on, Tristan. Let's forget breakfast. How about you take me upstairs? She wraps her arms around him and stands on the tips of her toes to give an open-mouth kiss. My heart is breaking, and the kitchen blurs as I try to swallow my food, which refuses to go down. But I need my energy. Who knows what the woman will get up to? Estelle's faraway laugh gradually fades until it's no more than a drone as they head upstairs. The bedroom door slams shut, and I choke on my mouthful. Dismissing the rest of my food, I head, as usual, to my basket and rest my paws over my head. Half an hour later, they both enter the kitchen. Estelle is all smiles, and I hate that. Hate the fact that I'm a cat when she's human and enjoying Tristan's company. They tuck into their breakfast, sharing their croissants and talking about Estelle's so-called trip. She sure knows her stuff. Sounds very convincing. Must have taken her ages to read up on the subject. Right, Tristan says, finishing up the last drop of coffee. I have to do a bit of food shopping. I didn't expect you till after lunch. Do you want me to grab some groceries for you? Estelle asks, leading across the table to place her lips over his. Thanks, but I have to drop off a couple of checks at the bank. I won't be long. Estelle clears away the table while Tristan grabs his keys and heads out of the front door. What perfect timing. With Tristan away in town, Bimbo has at least an hour to snoop. You still here, Fleabag? She shouts my way. Get back in your basket and stay there. Who does she think she's talking to? This is my house just as much as hers. Maybe even more so. Estelle takes one more peek out of the window and heads up the stairs. I, of course, follow. A little further down the landing, she pulls to a halt in front of the cupboard door before turning the key in the lock and tugging the doorknob. The door doesn't budge. Slipping her phone into the back pocket of her jeans, she clasps the handle with both hands and pulls with all her strength. Shit! It's stiffer than when I helped Tristan move his books up here. She pants between two struggles. Little by little, the door scrapes open, and a warm air of musty wood seeps into the landing. A few more tugs, and Estelle has made a passageway big enough to squeeze through. My eyes widen as a steep stairway disappears into the roof area of the cottage. I always presumed this to be a door to a cupboard. Narrow, plain, the dark wood blending in well with the decor. Who would have guessed? And all the time I've been here, Tristan never opened it once. Oh, by the way, we have an ad starting in about 40 seconds, so just be aware. Estelle switches on the light and, hand gripped on the handrail, takes the stairway all the way to the top. The steps are dusty. Doesn't look as if anyone's been up here for a long time. I stare up at the attic beams, taking in the beauty of the deep brown tones, breathing in the musty smell, tasting the dust in the air. On the far side of the attic, a mountain of books lay stacked against a half-empty bookcase, as if the person went off in a hurry and never returned to finishing filling the shelves. Estelle shows no interest in the beauty of the place, too eager to accomplish her deed. No sooner than she has set foot in the roof area than she sets about throwing sheets and old clothes aside. The woman has absolutely no respect for anything. From the corner of my eye, I glimpse a wooden trunk pushed up against one of the side walls, clasped shut with two large metal fasteners. It looks as old as the attic itself. I wonder what treasures hide in there. Next to the piece of heavy luggage sits a marble-topped dressing table. The mirror has seen better days. Stained in some places, a deep crack covering the top half, yet it gives off a feeling of warmth. How many people have sat in front of its mirror, looked at their reflection in the glass? I pad forward, careful where I place my paws. Nails and the old screws lay scattered around the floor. The last thing I need is one of those puncturing my paws. Before I get to the trunk, Estelle rushes up from behind, kicking her leg out to push me aside. She stands in front of the dressing table, grabs a hold of the drawer handle, and pulls it in one quick tug. Ooh, these are nice, she exclaims, picking up a pair of silver earrings and holding them to each ear. I think I'll have these. A reward for doing all this dirty work. She slides the jewelry into the back pocket of her jeans and sets about diving into the box again. I can't believe my eyes. She's just put a pair of earrings into her pocket. That's stealing. Those earrings could have belonged to Tristan's mother or his grandmother. They're not hers. The little thief. There you are, you little shit. Estelle pulls a ring out of the jewelry box and holds it up to the light. I found you. No way. Not the ring, surely. My world is falling apart. If she has the ring, Reverio will soon be in possession of it. Another step nearer to his goal. The only thing left for him to do now is come for me. Waves of acid roll up from my stomach. What am I going to do? What can I do? My heart thuds in my chest. My mind is throwing out negative thoughts, and I'm suffocating. Willing myself to regain my normal breathing, I attempt to put things into perspective. For the moment, I'm safe. Reverio doesn't know where I am, and Estelle doesn't know who I am. How long will that last? A metal tinkle brings me out of my thoughts. Estelle has dropped the ring. It bounces on the floor before rolling to a stop not far from me. I eye the golden band, wondering if I should paw it under the dressing table. Make it disappear? Not a brilliant idea. Estelle only needs to drop to her knees to fish it out. Would give me the satisfaction of making her search a bit harder, though. I scurry to the ring and nudge it with my nose. Hang on a minute. That's not Xerenyse's ring. My heart thumps in my chest. The stone's a lot paler and there's no decorated twist on the gold band. Clear off, Estelle shouts. She pushes my body with her leg again before stooping to retrieve the ring. What is it with her and always kicking me aside? Right, that does it. I'm not standing for this any longer. But then the time it takes for me to unsheath my paws, Estelle has grabbed the ring and dashing to the top of the stairs. I gallop across the attic to see her rush down. She slips through the narrow doorway and slams her fist on the switch. The light from the landing slowly fades as Estelle pushes the door shut. I leap down the stairs and manage to sneak through the narrow passageway before the door slams shut and locked. And then there's a break in the story. Okay, so lucky for Xerenyse, that's not the ring. But Bimbo, as she is so delightfully called, doesn't know that. Reverio does, though, and he's going to be ticked off. And she deserves whatever she gets. I come in from the wet weather after my morning walk around the garden and head straight for my basket. I wish I had a basket. I mean, I guess that's my bed, right? But it doesn't feel the same. Diamonds of raindrops cling to my fur. I shiver. To tell the truth, I'm a bit queasy. Spinning head, weak legs, cold paws, and nauseous stomach. I wonder if it could have been the dust I breathed in from the attic earlier. I sit hunched in a crouched position, my back high, head lowered, front paws folded under me. Any position to ease the pain. Nothing works. When I was a kid, I used to curl up into a little ball, holding my tummy tight. Would that work now? I change positions and try to sleep. What I need is a cup of Nana's chamomile concoction. My eyes open to Tristan's face up close. He slides a hand under me. I'm sure he thought I was dead. I purr gently to reassure him. Even that takes a huge effort. Another gurgle rumbles in my belly. There's nothing more to bring up. I only ate a little chicken supreme served for breakfast, and I can't face any lunch. Tristan leaves and returns with a saucer of my special cat milk. Ugh, the smell makes me shudder. I turn my head and let out a pitiful meow. Concerned, Tristan puts a hand under my chin and lifts my face to meet his. Not a good idea. Any movement sends my head throbbing. I've never felt like this before. It's worrying. Tristan's eyes glisten, and his expression kills me. Although my guts and head hurt like hell, seeing him so distraught is 100 times worse. What's up, puss? If only I knew. Shivery one moment, hot the next. It's like I'm coming down with flu. Or could it have been something I've eaten? I spend the rest of the afternoon curled up in my basket. The light rain has cleared up, and although it's beautiful and warm, I can't stop shivering. Tristan comes and goes, checking regularly on me. His stiff face breaks into a weak smile whenever I lift my eyes. Estelle keeps out of sight, although I do catch her high-pitched voice now and again. Right, that does it. Tristan rubs a hand over his face. I'm taking her to the vet. Surely not. Estelle's honey voice comes from the lounge. You're not going to bother the vet for something futile. Tristan whips around. How would you know, Estelle? You're not the one suffering. His voice is harsh, and I whimper with satisfaction. Gemma can't tell us what's wrong, so maybe the vet will. Estelle's heels click on the flagstones before she comes into the kitchen. Sorry, darling, I'm just worried as you are. Maybe we should wait until tomorrow, though. She'll feel better once she's had a good night's sleep. Why does Estelle's voice always have the tendency to whine? At times, it grates on my nerves big time, like right now. And why is she still here? If she thinks she's got the ring, surely she'd get back to her brother quickly? Tristan makes a good show of coming across as being calm. His clenched jaw betrays him. Lifting me gently, he puts me into my wicker cat carrier. I'm taking her to the vet's now. Eat dinner without me. But... He dashes past Estelle without giving her chance to finish her sentence, and that's the last thing I catch through the slits of wicker basket, is Estelle's stamping her foot. Good job, Tristan. We like Tristan. Tristan's good. Good guy. I sit on the examination table and listen to the conversation. They are, after all, talking about me. The vet shakes her head as she squeezes my back. Has she eaten anything apart from her normal food? Her voice is clear and precise. I don't think so. A line of doubt furrows Tristan's forehead. Maybe she ate something that didn't agree with her, the vet says, pressing my stomach with delicate fingers. Tristan sails a hand through his hair and lets out a long sigh. From where I sit, I notice his clenched jaw and the tendons bulging in his neck. The vet puts a hand onto his arm. Don't worry, Mr. Burrell. We'll put her on a drip and keep her in overnight as a precaution. The vet carries me into the back room where cages of different shapes and sizes are arranged in a particular order. Large ones squat on the floor. The next size up sit on a large wooden table. Smaller cages are stacked on higher shelves. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air, and from what I can gather, only one other patient is present tonight. A white rabbit. With a twitching nose, it observes me from its cage on the top shelf. Thank goodness. Couldn't see myself sharing the place with other cats or dogs. I'm placed in the cage on the table. Tristan stretches out a hand and caresses my head. Behind his calm mask, I detect sadness. You'll be fine, puss, he says, and I suspect he's trying to convince himself more than me. Of course she will. The vet's voice is reassuring. We have a member of our staff who stays all night to ensure patients don't pull out their IV catheters or chew on their fluid line. She'll be in good hands. Tristan nods and, with drooped shoulders, follows the vet out of the silent back room while I perch my chin on my front legs and close my eyes. And there's another break in the story. I awake to the sound of hushed whispering. Rousing from my heavy slumber, I'm aware of the silent atmosphere. No ticking clock, no whirring fridge, and the faint words have stopped. It takes a moment to figure out where I am. I open my eyes to find my mother's face peering down at me. Mama? Despite my stomach cramps, which have subsided a little since I arrived, my headache continues to needle behind my ears, as if my head is filled with straw. But I can handle the nagging drone. Yes, darling. I blink twice. Is this another dream like the one I had back in the sacristy? The what? The sacristy? There we go. When I woke up hot and tangled in the priest's stole? Is it really you, Mama? I mean, I'm not dreaming, am I? No, Xerenyse, this is no dream. Why are you here? We sensed you were in danger, Great Grandma replies, stepping into my vision. I'm better. The vet believes it's something I ate, but I can't think what. I think the bimbo did something to her food. You need one of my chamomile brews, Nana says, a huge smile on her face. I shift to a more comfortable position. My front leg is a bit stiff. I daren't move it for fear of pulling out the needle. The vet put me on a drip once Tristan left. Great Grandma pulls at the loose skin under her chin. How are you coping, little one? I'm fine and so lucky. I've found a super guardian called Tristan, and he's the custodian of the ring. The three of them gape at me. By some miracle, ladies, Nana manages to say, Xerenyse has ended up in the custodian's house. And that's not all, I continue. I've also discovered that his girlfriend is Moverio's sister, and she's looking around the house for Xerenyse's ring. The horror on their faces and the way they remain anchored to the spot makes me wonder if they haven't been turned to stone. Don't worry. She doesn't know who I am. She even talks openly to Moverio on the phone in front of me. But I'm still a bit scared. I didn't know he had a sister. The three of them gaze at each other. Moverio does have a sister. Or half-sister at least, Nana says. His father, a discreet descendant. A discreet, really? A direct descendant of the horned god fell in love with a simple mortal. And from their relationship, Moverio was born. When his mother died in childbirth, Moverio was brought up by his father's entourage. Many wizards taught him the craft of magic, and discerning the quick, eager learner in him, the art of satanic witchcraft. My whiskers twitch. Where was all this going? Before the age of 16, he'd become as good as his father. Some said even better. That wasn't enough. Unloved and cast aside because of his illegitimacy, he despised the fact that his mother was a mere mortal. How do you know all this? I ask. Great Grandma nods in Nana's direction, and I wait with bated breath while she clears her throat. Because I was one of the coven. My fur spurts out in all directions. You helped train Moverio in his witchcraft? No, my dear. Don't get the wrong end of the stick. Nana stretches a hand in my direction. Like today, witches and wizards came together to share their knowledge. We all made potions and healing remedies, and the gatherings allowed us to gain more wisdom, like sharing cooking recipes in a way. I turn in Mama's direction. She hasn't uttered a word, but gives a slight nod of the head, and I make myself more comfortable, ready for the next part. When Moverio was 16, his father married a witch, and they had a legitimate daughter. Estelle, I say more to myself. Great Grandma nods and takes the lead once more. Yes, my dear Estelle. Not only was she the legitimate daughter, she was a threat to Moverio. I'm surprised he didn't kill her, evil as he is. We were all surprised. Great Grandma replies, shifting to a more comfortable position. You see, Estelle was born hideously deformed. So she's not a dog. She's just hideously deformed. Got it. My eyes widen. You must be mistaken. She's beautiful. It can't be the same person. The three of them remain silent, exchanging furtive glances. What? I come over in a cold sweat, eager for the next part, yet dreading what's to come. Believe me, child, it's the same person. From the look on Nana's face, I grasp this is no trumped-up story. When Moverio's father discovered his daughter's monstrosity, I can read, he abandoned both mother and child in the depths of the enchanted forest. But Estelle is alive. Who came to the rescue? Mama bites the inside of her cheek and speaks for the first time. Moverio. My mouth gapes open. That monster came to save his sister? Can't be right. Not him. This can't be the truth. Don't look so perplexed, Xerenyse. He saved the child, and by using his magic powers, he transformed her into a beautiful baby. And into the beautiful woman she's become, I say, picturing Estelle's perfect silhouette and immaculate complexion. Great Grandma stands and tightens her belt. Moverio didn't change her out of affection. He needed her to carry out his dirty work. Always has done. What better ally than a beautiful woman with the gift of manipulating people? Surely she must have powers too, being the daughter of a witch, I say. Her powers were taken away when Moverio transformed her into the person she is today, Nana confirms. We all remain silent, deep in our thoughts before I break the hush. Moverio turned up at the house. Mama slaps her hand over her mouth. Oh, don't worry. He couldn't get in. Said something about the ring being there and putting up a protective barrier. He no doubt came to check that the ring is there. Great Grandma mumbles more to herself. And, I continue, when Moverio couldn't get into the cottage, he sent his sister again. She came and found a similar-looking ring in the attic, in a jewelry box. She even stole a pair of earrings. Nana gasps. Are you sure it isn't the magic ring, child? I'm sure. The stone is a paler shade of mauve, and the golden band isn't twisted. I slumped my chin down on my outstretched front legs. Do you think Tristan knows about the ring? I should imagine so, Nana replies. With his parents dead, his grandfather would have told him that he is the custodian. That's not something you can keep to yourself. Eldrick died about 9 years ago, Great-Grandma says, tears welling in her eyes. I was present at the funeral, although no one could see me. Such a sad moment. No one there apart from his 17-year-old grandson. I could have hugged the child. She dabs her eyes with a hanky and continues. Rain fell until they lowered the coffin into the ground. A streak of sunlight flashed across the sky, creating the brightest rainbow ever. I sniff, visualizing Tristan with his grief. No parents, no one to comfort him, no one to talk to. Xerenyse, my love. A solemn gleam floats in Nana's dark eyes. No matter how many months have passed, be careful where you go, and never turn your back on the shadows, because one day when you least expect it, Maverio will be there, waiting for you. It's best you stay in the custodian's house where you are protected. Thank the gods he found you, Great-Grandma adds. They've heard our prayers to watch over you, my love. Nana slides her fingers through the thin bars of the cage and speaks in a gentle tone. We haven't gone about this lightly, my dear, and it seems Tristan is kind. He is the person who can stop Maverio becoming immortal and ruling both worlds. How will he know? I ask, my pulse beating quicker. The ring will glow when he tries it on. That's what's written in the witch's secret book. The rabbit shuffles the straw in his cage, and Great-Grandma stands, bringing the conversation to an end. Ladies, we have to go, and this little kitten needs to rest. Mama gives my head one last caress, and then they disappear, leaving me in the quiet of the room. I stretch out my front paws and lay my chin on them once again. Nana's gray voice still sounds in my ears. Maverio isn't the kind to give up, especially after what Great-Grandma has revealed. He needs the ring, and me with it. Another little break in the story. I'm glad we had that little bit right there. That was very much needed backstory to help kind of piece things together with Estelle and how she kind of fits into the story. Back in my basket at the cottage the next day, I mull over what Great-Grandma divulged. I haven't stopped thinking about it all night. I close my eyes and slip on my thinking cap. How will Tristan be strong enough to face Maverio should the opportunity arise? Soft fingers tickle my fur, and I lazily open one eye. Tristan acts more cheerful than earlier this morning at the vet's. I still have that worried look of his embedded in my mind. Thank goodness his expression changed when the vet told him all was fine. I can't bear for him to be down in the dumps. The kitchen door opens and bangs shut. It's only me, Estelle shouts before holding up 2 brown paper bags. Chinese? Tristan greets her with a warm smile and a peck on the cheek. Great. I haven't had takeaway in ages. I wish someone would take her away. I thought so, she says, sneering at me. Let me set the table, and we can chat about plans for the weekend. Decide where to go. For a moment, Tristan doesn't move. His eyes fixed on Estelle's face, hands pushed deep into the pockets of his jeans. We can't go anywhere. I have to take Gemma to the vet tomorrow afternoon for a quick checkup. Estelle's face shows nothing except frustration. What are we going to do here all weekend? I'd like to relax. I've been worried about Gemma, and I've gotten an important report to hand in before tomorrow evening. How am I going to get everything done? A small pout plays on Estelle's lips, with a slight narrowing of the eyes and a tiny little slit of the head in my direction. I'm sure she's got something devious lined up. She's too pleased with herself. Not a good sign. Bimbo is up to no good, or soon will be. She drops the takeaway on the table and swings her hips, struts up to Tristan before pushing him onto the chair. I've just had a great idea, she says, straddling him. I hold my breath, fearing the worst. I'll take Gemma to the vet for her checkup, and you can finish your report. She places an open-mouthed kiss on his lips and wiggles her backside. Thanks, Estelle, he manages to say before she devours him. Tristan is relieved. Not me. Something fishy is going on. And that is the end of chapter 8. Why would Estelle volunteer to take the one thing she hates to get help? And I thought the vet gave the cat the all clear. Why would she need to go back? Either way, something is going awry. To lose her on the way? Yeah, maybe. Maybe she just won't make it there. And I'm always like thinking ahead at this point because I'm like, okay, well then she has to come back, right? But is she just going to say that there was a terrible accident and the cat got run over or whatever? And then somehow the cat makes it back to the house? Or maybe Xerenyse finds herself face to face with Maverio or something. Who knows? Who knows? What I do know is that we're going to have to wait to find out. We'll have to wait for Thursday night. Now, let me remind you real quick. In fact, to help myself remind you, I'm going to pull up my calendar. So, Thursday is October 3rd. I will be streaming October 3rd. But the following Sunday, October 6th, from that day until the 16th, maybe the 17th, I'm going to be gone. So there'll be no stream on the 6th, the 10th, or the 13th. So we're going to have a large gap of reading after Thursday night. And I do apologize. I wish I didn't have to, run away from stream, but I will not be here. I'm going to be in Phoenix, and then I'm going to be in Pennsylvania for work. No book for my birthday? Oh, no. Okay. Dang it. I'm sorry. What day is it? I feel like I should know this. What day is your birthday? The 11th. Friday the 11th. So essentially, yeah, that Thursday. Shoot. I am sorry. But this just means you can find something better to do on your Thursday evening, birthday eve, if you will. Something even better. Yes? Yes. All right. Let me take a look at my other screen here and we can see who's live. And we'll go say hi to some folks. Oh boy, who is on? There's a lot of people on. Who do we want to go say hi to? Last time we raided Maiko the Psycho, who's also doing writing and reading, so that's wonderful. Or not the Psycho, Maiko Psycho is his name. But tonight, you know what? We're gonna go see a friend of mine that I hardly ever get to raid. She's only been live for like 9 minutes. She's gonna be playing some Sea of Thieves with some friends. She's a wonderful person. I actually had the privilege of helping her get affiliate. So please copy this raid message if you would be so inclined. And I will see you in a few days on Thursday. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a wonderful night.